So I think we can wait for others to join, and for a few minutes, if they're not joining, we'll start the session. Before that, I would like to tell you people how was the experience of the exam, because we were able to meet almost all of you. Few of you were not available in the same city, or you had attempted it from a different place. So how was the experience of this RIE CE and teaching aptitude? Anyone? Okay, so okay, it's in the chat box. Teaching aptitude questions were a little tricky is what Shreya says. Shreya says it was all right. Others, if it's possible, please unmute and speak and keep your cameras on now at least. It's not a compulsion. I understand that there's a lot of issues. Background problem might be there, noise might be there, and other issues, but that's fine. Okay, so I'll share my screen. And what we'll do is we'll go through the teaching aptitude questions. Okay. And please let me know if there were any different questions in your exam paper. Yes. So is the screen visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Shreya. Yes. Yes, Rajada. Thank you. So this is one of the students' teaching aptitude response sheet. I would not like to reveal the name. Let's proceed ahead. So you're all able to see the question. Should I enlarge it a bit? Are the questions visible to all of you?
Yes,
My
sir.
screen and the text. Should I enlarge it? Please let me know if you want it enlarged.
Enlarge it, sir.
Please enlarge it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Is it fine now?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Maitri. Thank you. Thank you, others. Yes. So in this paper, technically what they do is they jumble the sequence of questions. So I guess this question was not the first one for all of you, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So don't worry. Most of the questions will be there in your this thing also, in your response sheet also. The only thing is the order will be jumbled. So we'll start with the first question. If a student in your class fails to answer your question, you will. So the options are advise him or her to study more, provide cues for the correct answer, ask another student to answer, ask him or her to sit down. So it's being asked from a teacher's perspective that in your class, if a student fails to answer, what would you do? And the correct answer here is advise him or her to study more is what is marked by the person. If you can see here, chosen option is A, but the correct answer is provide cues to the correct answer. We were discussing in the sessions, if you remember, that the teacher needs to probe further and wherever possible, scaffold students, support students. So providing cues for the correct answer is a form of scaffolding, and option 2 is the correct answer for this question. If a student in your class fails to answer your questions, you will provide cues for the correct answer. Any doubts here for this question? If no, please say no so that we can quickly move on to the next question.
No, sir.
Okay, Shreyan says, but option 1 is a possibility. How do you, Shreyan, we are not looking at possibilities here. Here, as it is an MCQ based exam, we have to choose the most appropriate answer. I agree that option 1 would be a possibility, but if a student is failing to answer your question, right, providing cues would be most appropriate, because we would like to make the student understand the whole thing in the classroom itself rather than making the student try attempt on it. If the student has not understood, then it's our responsibility to make give the clarity to the student. Yes, Shreyan? No. See, I think you're misunderstood by the term cues. Cues means leading students to the answers. Right? It's not a practice that is suggested to be done always, but when the students are close, right? Or if they are not, confused, cues are way better than asking the student to study more. Merely asking or advising the student to study more will not ensure that the student will know the correct answer or will perform better. And in class, supporting students by providing cues will motivate them further and make them more comfortable saying that the teacher is still supporting and providing support for the student to find the correct answer. So for this one, option 2 is the correct answer, that is provide cues to the correct answer. Okay. Yes, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Yes, the question is the key purpose of asking students. Sorry, the key purpose of asking questions to students during teaching learning process is to. Options are know whether the student are listening to the teacher, know whether the students are understanding the lesson, label the student based on their responses to questions, communicate parents about performance of their wards. So what are they asking here? They're asking about the purpose of asking questions to students during the classroom, in the classroom, right? So you're not asking questions to know whether students are listening to the teacher or not. If that is the purpose of asking questions, there are a lot of other non-verbal and non-verbal communication that we studied about in interpersonal skills, right? So that would come there. Not asking questions. Asking questions to grab their attention is not a correct way to do it. Knowing whether student are understanding the lesson is of utmost priority here, right? So option 3 and option 4 also actually doesn't make much sense compared to option 2. So the purpose of asking questions to students during teaching learning process is to know whether the students are understanding the lesson or not. So option 2 is correct. Any doubts here for anyone? Rather, there is no others.
No,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll move on to the next one. That means all of you have marked the correct answer here. Question 3. Which of the following is not a quality of a good teacher? Yes, Shreyan. Shreyan is asking in the chat box. So sometimes questions are asked to ensure that students are attentive or not. That is what we are trying to say, Shreyan, that it is a bad practice. Asking questions to check if students are attentive or not is a bad practice. It's not a good practice in the classroom. Questions should be asked to see if students have understood or not. There are a lot of other ways to ensure students are attentive in the class or not. Other more appropriate ways. Okay. Yes, Shreyan? Okay. We'll move on to the next one. Question 3. Which of the following is not a quality of good teacher? So not is underlined. She or he should keep their knowledge updated. She or he should love their students. She or he should keep herself aloof from the community. She or he should have command over subject knowledge. We all have very clearly discussed. They should be updated with their knowledge. They should love students and they should have command over subject knowledge. Option 3, aloof, means not paying attention or not moving it away, like not focusing on it or not giving much attention to it. So option 3 is not a quality of a good teacher. So option C is correct here. Any doubts in this question? Yes. Okay, thank you. We'll move on to the next one. What will be your reaction if a sincere and punctual students come late to your class? I think you all will remember that this is something that has been regularly asked, but the words have been changed a little bit. Option 1, you will try to know. Yes, from the PYQ. Yes, Shreyan. Option 1, you will try to know the reason for coming late. You will tell him or her to you the importance of time. You will lecture them the importance of time. You will ask him or her to wait for the next class. You will report the matter to school head. And we have very thoroughly discussed that the first and foremost thing that a teacher should do, even if the student is punctual or not, is to try to know the reason for coming late. Okay? Yes. So I think no doubt here. Any doubt in this question? Okay, yes. Thank you. We'll move on to the next question. When a student visits the house of a teacher to share his or her problems, the teacher should, okay? Option 1, contact parents of the student and ask them to solve the problem. Ask the student to contact him or her in the school. Suggest her or him to the principal to solve the problem. Provide reasonable help to solve her or his problems. So as we all know, the correct answer is option 4, provide reasonable help to solve his or her problems. I know that the question framing might confuse you where they are saying the student visits the house of a teacher to share his or her problems. So some people might get confused that this is not appropriate. There's nothing like that. Okay. So when the student has come, right? So here, marked option is also correct by this person. Option 4 is correct here. Provide reasonable help to solve the student's problem that the student has come up with, right? When the problem is genuine. So that they have not mentioned, yes, option 4 is most appropriate. Any doubt here in this question? Okay. Moving on to the next one, question number 6 of this paper. Teaching is a process of passing information contained in the textbook to students, encouraging students to come to school, attracting parents to admit the children in schools, making students learn with joy. What might be the correct answer according to you all? Yes. So option D, the main purpose of teaching is to make the whole process of learning joyful. Yes. So option 4 is correct here. Any doubts, any confusion, any clarity regarding this question? Okay, no, thank you. We'll move on to the next one. The first teacher of a child is her or his. Again, from the PYQs, mother, father, school teacher, sibling. The correct answer is mother. Any doubt here? I hope you all have marked the correct answer. We have discussed this in multiple instances in the PYQs. Moving on to question number 8. How would you best support your students in the age group of 12 to 18 years to create a positive environment in school? If you remember when we were discussing about the developmental stages, 12 to 18 falls in adolescence. Yes. So the options are allowing them to express freely, teaching them to respect elders, taking disciplinary actions on children for breaching rules, creating good school infrastructure. And the correct answer as marked here is option 1, allowing them to express freely. Right? Because we have discussed a lot when we were talking about intrapersonal and interpersonal skills and other topics where we see that adolescence is a stage where the person is trying to know who they are, trying to deal with a lot of emotions and other things, and allowing one to express freely at this age group is the best practice. And it will create a positive school environment. Any doubt here in this question?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Maitri. So next question, which of the following is the main objective of teaching? Okay. Option 1, to prepare students for examination. Option 2, to develop thinking skills of students. Option 3, to develop learning resources to students. And option 4, to guide students to choose the right career. So the main objective of teaching is to help students develop thinking skills. Yes. So option B is correct. Any doubts in this question? So we know that the main purpose of teaching is not to make them exam ready, right? Providing learning resources is not the main purpose. Or career is something that comes, that is focused. Yes, career is important, I agree. But career guidance comes at the later stage when the students are about to leave the school, or at class 8, class 9, that's the most appropriate stage to make students aware of the careers. So option 2 is the most appropriate answer among the given options, that is to develop thinking skills of students. Anyone has any confusion or need any clarification regarding this question? Any doubts? Okay, okay. Thank you, Hemant, for saying no again. I'll move ahead. Yes, again a repeated question. Corporal punishment to students is banned in schools because students become unhappy with the teachers. Option 1. Option 2, students drop out of school before completion of education. Option 3, parents may lodge complaint against teachers. Option 4, it frequently leads to students' health problems. We have very clearly discussed that corporal punishment may lead to student dropout before completion of education. So correct option is option 2 here. Any doubts regarding this question? Yes. Okay, I'll take. Yeah. No doubts regarding this question, no clarification, no confusion. Okay, no. Thank you. Thank you. Moving on to next question. Which of the following is the basic and most important quality of a good teacher? Option 1, knowledge of subject matter. Option 2, communication skills. Option 3, leadership quality. Option 4, relationship with community. And again, discussed in the PYQ, subject knowledge is the most important. Yes, communication skills are important. Yes, leadership quality is also important, and relationship with the community comes. These all are the later parts. If you are good at your subject, communication aids in transacting of that subject. Okay. So the option one, knowledge of subject matter, is the correct answer here. Any doubts? Please ask any doubts, or if you marked something in the other way and you need any clarification regarding that, why not this, why not that, please ask ahead. Okay, so everyone is saying no. We'll move on to the next question. Which of the following is best suited for emotional development of children? Democratic class environment, non-involvement of teachers, controlled classroom environment, authoritarian classroom environment. Okay, so the child who has answered this one has selected option D, authoritarian classroom environment. Can anyone help me out with what do you mean by authoritarian classroom environment?
Dictatorship like thing. Only teacher is guiding and there is no response from the students.
Okay, yes, thank you, Hemant. So authoritarian means teacher has complete power, right? Teacher is the one who controls the class, and whatever teacher says should happen in the class. That is authoritarian, and that is not the way, or that is not best suited for emotional development of children. Again, a controlled classroom environment might put undue stress on students, where you're trying to control how learning is taking place, how they are involved in the teaching learning process, which is not appropriate. Non-involvement of teacher makes no sense. So the correct answer is democratic classroom environment, where everyone gets a voice, everyone, participates, and everyone, is involved in the teaching learning process. Any doubt in this question? Most of you might have got confused. If this did not, most of you, the child who has answered this question might have got confused with the term authoritarian. Okay, if the word totalitarian was used, it would have made some sense, but authoritarian is not correct. We'll move on to the next question then. Thank you. Next question, the main reason for including preschool education as integral part of school education is to. We have talked about preschool education. We have talked about preparatory foundation stage. If you remember NEP 2020 and NCFSC. So option one, prepare children for further education, reduce the burden of working mothers, make the children learn to behave properly, increase the duration of schooling. So the correct answer is prepare children for further education. The main purpose of starting a foundation education is to give them foundational knowledge, right? So that when they enter into first standard, second standard and all, they'll have a base through which they can learn properly. So option one is correct here. Any doubt? Okay. Moving on to the next one. Why should a teacher at foundation stage have knowledge of child psychology? Okay. Option one, to help the teacher in making, I think someone is annotating the screen. Yeah, okay, it stopped. Sandra. Okay, Sandra has a doubt regarding the previous question. Okay, I'll first read out what she has put. Excuse me, sir, in the previous question, why can't it be communication skill? If the teacher is having good knowledge but not able to communicate with students, how can they understand the topic well? Very well said, Sandra. I think it's Sandra, right? Yes, Sandra. I agree with you. But then when you talk about the basic, and most important, right, it's subject knowledge. Communication skills is very much important, and what you have made, what the comment that you have made makes really sense, that without good communication skills, a teacher cannot transact. But if you go vice versa, and if you say that the teacher has very good communication skills but no subject knowledge, it makes no sense. We have seen a lot of teachers who are very good at content but fail to communicate. And yes, you might think that communication skills might be important, but when you look at the basic thing, it is the knowledge of subject matter that matters the most, and then comes communication skill when you're going in the order. No, Shreyan, I disagree with you. Communication skill is not more important than subject knowledge. Subject knowledge always comes first, and then comes communication skill. I understand and agree with most of your doubts, saying that both go hand in hand, and communication skills are very much important to transact the knowledge that you have regarding content. Yes, I agree with you. But the question is asking about the basic and most important quality.
Sir,
Yes,
then what
Sam.
is the difference between a person who has graduated from engineering and a person who is doing B.Sc.B.Ed, sir? Because you only said that they'll be having good good content, but they are not able to communicate properly and they are not able to maintain the class properly.
Yes. I agree with you. I agree with you. But then see, when we are talking about the first and foremost quality, when you go through, see, you're selected as a teacher to teach a particular subject, right? You might teach science, you might teach social science, you might teach English. So for teaching these subjects, the basic thing that is required is the knowledge of that subject, right? Communication is, yes, very much important to teach the content that you know. But when you talk about the basic thing that a teacher needs to have is subject matter. With communication, you can do nothing, but with subject matter, at least you can transact. I agree with that's why still in, many of the colleges, the teachers from, not teachers, the people who are graduated from engineering colleges are taken because they have content mastery, because it's very important. Yes, Hemant?
Okay, sir.
What about Sandra? No, Sandra. Sandra says, but teachers have good knowledge, sir, then only they will be able to become teacher. All the skills are very much necessary. That is why this question is a little bit confusing. But among all, when you see content knowledge is the most basic. Basic, that means it is expected from a teacher to know the content. Only then they'll be able to teach, right? Communication is a skill that they need to learn. Okay, communication is a skill, but when it comes to subject matter, that is something that they need to know. So here, subject knowledge matter is the correct answer. Yes, okay. Thank you. I think we have completed this question, right? The foundational stage. No, I think we were discussing this question. We have completed it. Okay. Yes, we'll come to the next question. I'll just repeat question number 14 because I'm not sure if I've completed or not. Why should a teacher at the foundational stage have knowledge of child psychology? Okay, option 1 is to help the teacher in making children disciplined, to help the teacher in understanding children, to enhance the performance of students in examination, to help the teacher in classroom management. Please remember, please look at here. The question is asking, why should a teacher at foundation stage have knowledge of child psychology? Right? The main purpose of having the knowledge of child psychology is to understand the children better. So option 2, to help the teacher in understanding children, is most important. Option 1, making children disciplined, nowhere concerned, right? For foundation stage, I don't know what purpose examination actually serves. And classroom management is something that has some extent related to psychology, but option 2 is the most important because you need to know the child in order to understand them better. So option 2 is correct here. Any doubt here in this question? Yes, any doubt? Rajendra says no. Others? Okay. We'll move on to the next one. Okay, it's a situation-based question. When you entered a classroom and started teaching, you found that most of the students are sitting casually, not looking at you and talking to each other. What should you do in this situation? Okay. Stop the lesson and ask students to pay attention towards you. Keep teaching with the hope that they'll listen later. Ask an interesting question and give an activity to get their attention. Tell them that you won't continue to teach until they behave properly. So as marked, ask an interesting question and give an activity to get their attention is the most appropriate among the given options. If you read the options carefully, stop the lesson and ask students to pay attention towards you, which does not make much sense, right? It will make them more conscious, or it will make them like, oh, this teacher is just asking us to look back at them. Option 2, keep teaching in the hope that they listen later. No, that is not the right way. And option 4, telling them that you won't continue teaching until they behave properly, is also not the. See, if you compare all the options, option 3 makes most sense. Asking an interesting question and giving an activity which will make them involved and do something in the class that is related to what you're teaching is the most appropriate. Any doubts in this question? Okay. Moving on to the next one. If a student is too shy to participate in the teaching learning process, the teacher should Option 1, not ask any question to him, her or him. Option 2, ask questions that can be answered by her or him. Option 3, ask questions that cannot be answered by her or him. Option 4, remain indifferent to the student. So it's very clear that if a student is too shy to participate, a teacher should ask questions that can be answered to give some level of motivation to the student and involve the student in the teaching learning process. Give me 1 minute. Yeah, we'll move on to the next question. So question number 17 is, on the first day in a class, a teacher should, okay, on the first day in a class, a teacher should evaluate the subject knowledge of students, try to understand the students, ask students to stay disciplined, start teaching the lesson. And as you enter the class, the first thing you should do is to know your students. If you remember what teachers do, they come and they are like, okay, let us interact. Please tell me your names, the place where you come from, and some other details about you, right? So this all is done to know the students. And this is the first and foremost thing that a teacher should do in the classroom. So option 2, try to understand the students is most appropriate. Any doubt in this question? Okay, okay. Moving on to next question. Which is the most important challenge facing a school teacher? Option 1, to prepare teaching learning materials. Option 2, to prepare lesson plans and lesson notes. Option 3, to prepare and use assessment items. Option 4, to make teaching learning process enjoyable. What according to you is correct? So the answer is already displayed here, but still. Anyone who has not marked option 4, to make teaching learning process enjoyable, and has any doubt for this question? Yes. So correct answer that they have marked is appropriate, to make teaching learning process enjoyable is the most important challenge that the teacher faces. Any doubt in this question? Okay, okay, no. We'll move on to the next one. Mother tongue, please. This is a question that we had discussed very clearly. Maitri asks, sir, why can't it be best? Oh, it's deleted. Okay, 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 okay.
Sorry, sir.
No issues, no issues, no issues. It happens. So, yeah, we'll move on to the next question. Mother tongue of children should be the medium of instruction during early years of schooling because children will love their mothers more. Mothers will love the children more. It is a medium of instruction in many countries. It makes learning easier and enjoyable. Very clearly, we had discussed about this, and we had also discussed this when we were talking about NEP 2020 and the 3-language formula and why they are trying to say that learning should start with mother tongue. So option 4, it makes learning easier and enjoyable is correct answer. Any doubt here?
No,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you all. Next question. In your class, some students grasp concepts quickly, while others struggle. How would you handle this situation? So they are putting you in the situation of a teacher and they're trying to ask you, what would you do? Option 1, continue at the pace of the fast learners. Option 2, adopt team teaching involving special educators. Option 3, offer additional support activities to struggling students. Option 4, keep your pace suitable for the average level students, learners. Right? So the correct option here is option 3. That is, offer additional support activities to struggling students. Any doubt in this question? If you see at option 2 says adopt team teaching involving special educators. Now, special educators are not the ones that we use for students who are struggling. Special educators are for students who have some differently able students, specially able students. For them, we hire special educators. So in this question, option 3 is the most appropriate. But if you have any doubt or if you want to have discussion about one option, any other option, you can ask me. Any doubt in this question? Okay. Moving on to the next question, what I'll do is I'll just hold on the answer so that you're able to see the question here below, right? I'm using my cursor. Which of the following is the best method to ensure participation of more students in the teaching learning process? Role play, demonstration, lecture, discussion. Yeah, option 4. And we had this question discussed multiple times. Yes, we had this question discussed multiple times, and again it was asked. And we said that when the classroom number is more, discussion is the best because everyone is involved in the process. So I hope most of all of you have marked it correctly. Option 4 is the correct answer. Thank you. Moving on to the next one. What should your approach towards academically poor students be? What should be your approach towards academically poor students? Indifferent, strict, loving, casual. Again, the question that we discussed in the class, the correct option is loving. Any doubt in this question? Any doubt or confusion in this question? Maitri, it can't be casual because when we use the word casual, casual means not actually bothering and not providing support. And Rajata says, why can't it be number 1? Indifferent. The meaning of indifferent means not paying attention. Please try to search the definition of indifferent. You will see that it actually means not paying attention. And we do, as a teacher, we do not want to not pay attention to poor students, right? So the correct answer here is loving, and actually we had discussed it in the PYQs if you remember. Yes. So it can't be indifferent, it can't be loving, casual, and we all know that it can't be strict. The correct option is loving. Moving on to the next one. The main objective of education is to prepare the children for different jobs, support the parents at home, bring reform in the society, develop inner potentialities of children. And the correct answer is option 4, develop inner potentialities of the children. Any doubt here?
No, sir.
Okay, Maitri has no doubts. What about others? Okay. No, thank you. Moving on to the next one. Knowledge of educational psychology helps a teacher at the foundational stage in. Okay, option 1, making children disciplined. Option 2, helping children score high. Option 3, understanding children. Option 4, controlling behavior of children. Okay, yes. So Shreyan is asking why not option 4? Shreyan, we have to understand the question. Knowledge of educational psychology helps a teacher in foundation stage in understanding. Yes, option 4 is also correct, Shreyan. I agree with you. But among the given options, see, in that way, educational psychology also helps us understand the children, and we can make children more disciplined using psychology, right? Scoring high, okay, this is something that option can be go off. But then if you look like that, option 1, 3, and 4, all 3 make sense. But the most appropriate and the most important role that, the reason why we learn psychology is to understand learners, not control them. Okay, so option 3 is more appropriate for this question than option 4. I agree with you that, using psychology, we can also, control the behavior of learners, but that is not the main purpose of learning psychology at the foundation stage. The main purpose is to understand them. And the same question is repeated in this question paper for the 3rd time. If you can, go back to the previous questions and connect, this is the 3rd time they're asking the same question. No, Shreyan, understanding is very much important. And with understanding a learner, see, Shreyan has put, sir, but understanding is not sufficient to control the children. We are never talking about controlling learners. We are talking about managing them. There's a big difference between controlling and managing. Okay, we should not control anything or anyone, right? When it comes to humans specifically, we are not supposed to control but manage them. And to manage learners, understanding them is more important. When you know them, then you'll be able to manage them, know their needs, know their requirements, know how they learn, right? All this helps you to teach a learner better. And that is why we learn educational psychology at the foundation stage. Yes, Trayan? Okay, thank you. Moving to next question. Which of the following indicates that teaching is of good quality? Maintaining discipline in the classroom, standards of questions raised by the students, percentage of students appearing in the board examination, standards of questions asked by the teacher. Again, something that we had discussed. Option 2, quality of questions raised by the students indicates the quality teaching is of good quality in the classroom. Any doubt in this question? Rajada says no. Okay, thank you. Moving on to the next one. Which of the following is the best way to make teacher integrate technology with the development of teaching skill? Encourage each teacher to create WhatsApp group for her class? No, not correct. Ensuring that technology is part of specific number of lessons each week? No. Though it is talking about integration of technology, it's just using it as a part of teaching each week. Creating an exemplary technology integrated lesson plan for each grade level. Okay. Yes, this also makes a lot of sense. Modeling the effective use of technology tools throughout the year. So we have to understand the question here better. Shreyan is asking already, why not option 3? The person who has answered this question is also telling option 3. Which of the following is the best way to make teacher integrate technology with development of teaching skill? Okay, so here we are also talking about development of teaching skill. So even I am of an opinion that option 3 also makes more sense with option 4. So what we can do is we can mark this question. Creating an exemplary technology integrated lesson plan for each grade level is something that also makes sense, because this exemplary lesson plan will help the teacher in teaching. Okay. Let us read the question again. So they're asking best way to make a teacher integrate technology with development of teaching skill. So we can ask a teacher to create a technology integrated lesson plan. But see, why it might not be option 3 also, let me give a speculation, but I request you all to mark this question for option 3 also. But when we talk about creating a technology integrated lesson plan, it makes sense. But here in the option, they have given an exemplary technology integrated lesson plan. Okay. Again, and they're also saying for each grade level, which is not easy. Technically, it's not feasible. It consumes a lot of time compared to option 4. Okay. Option 4 is talking about modeling, preparing a plan of effective use of technology tools throughout the year. So you can prepare a plan where you can look into lessons, units, and how many lessons you are going to divide it into. And for each lesson, what type of technology can you use? Technology tool can you use to transact the class? Makes more sense than option 3. But we'll go ahead and we'll also try to go for a mark here in this question option 3. But option 4 makes more sense because of the word exemplary used here, right? Creating an exemplary technology integrated lesson plan is not easy in the first go, or when you're practicing it, it takes a lot of time. And again, preparing it for each grade level is something that is not feasible. It requires a lot of time. Okay, so let's see. Option 4, yes, makes more sense. Option 3 is also not that wrong. So we'll go ahead and we will suggest you to.
Sir,
Yes.
but more accurate is option 3 only, right, sir? Sir, because when we model a thing, there is no there is no rule that we need to follow it. But when we create an exemplary technology, for an example, we are having a Zoom, for an example, at this point of time, we are having a Zoom meeting space through which we are using it. But just thinking and making doesn't make sense now, sir.
I agree with you. And when we are creating a technology, we are also developing a skill. Yes, Hemant, that's what you're trying to say, right?
Yes, sir. And these
Yes.
days, everything is like it is not hard to make it available. There are many IT companies which are making it available.
I agree. That's why I said that we'll mark this question. Okay. Let
Okay,
us
sir.
mark this question and keep this question. Please remember this question. If someone can take a screenshot and put it in the group, so that we'll have discussion with the entire team, and then we'll come to a conclusion regarding should we flag this or not. Okay, but I am of an opinion that option 3 also makes sense. Okay, shall we move on to the next one? Shreyan and others? Yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So I hope someone has taken the screenshot and put it in the group. We'll move on to the next one. Yeah, if a lesson taught by a teacher is not properly understood by students, the teacher should ask students to motivate themselves to learn, skip the lesson and proceed to the next question, change his or her mood of teaching the lesson, method, sorry, not mood, method of teaching the lesson, advise students to go for private coaching. So option C is most appropriate. This is something that we have regularly discussed, that you should update, modify your methods to meet the needs of the learners. So option 3 is correct here in this question. Maitri is saying option A. See, the question is, if a lesson taught by a teacher is not properly understood by students, how will asking students to motivate themselves help them to understand? So option A is not correct here, Maitri. I hope you're saying for this question. So here, the most appropriate answer, the correct answer is option 3. Any doubts in this question?
No, sir.
Okay, others, any doubt, or shall we move on to the next one? Okay, thank you, thank you. Moving to the next question. If a group of senior students misbehave with you, how would you address the situation? If a group of senior students misbehave with you, as a teacher, you are put in the shoes of a teacher. You are being made to empathize in the role of a teacher, and you are being asked, what would you do? You will inform parents about their ward's misbehavior. You will pacify their emotions politely. You will report the matter to school head. You will not react and remain quiet. So the most appropriate thing to do is to pacify their emotions politely, and then go ahead with taking next step regarding what should be done. So option 2 addresses the issue on spot, at least to some extent. So option 2 makes more sense here, and it's the correct answer as marked by the examiners also. Any doubt here, or you think that some other option is more appropriate? We can have a discussion. We are doing this session to take your opinions regarding what other options might be correct, so we'll be able to flag them and report them, so that if it makes sense, then we can get an extra mark. Any doubt here?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Maitri, please ask.
Sir, why can't it be third option, sir?
Okay, see, third option does make sense, Maitri. And as a teacher, you should always report such incidents with the school head. But the first thing that you're going to do will make a large impact on how the students will, be with you for the course of the rest of the course of the schooling, right? Because you have to teach them again. You have to interact with them regularly. So the first and foremost thing to do would be to pacify their emotions politely than directly rushing to the principal and complaining or reporting the matter. Do you agree, Maitri?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So we'll move on to the next question. Thank you for the doubt, Maitri. Question number 29. Which of the following factors influence learning the most? Physical facilities, motivation, midday meal, free uniform. And the marked answer here is motivation. How many of you have doubt with physical facilities here?
Sir, you had said in the teaching attitude class that physical facility is the most important thing when I answered this as motivation.
Yes,
And you were the one who said that blackboard is the most important aspect of the class.
I agree with you. Uh, I was having the same discussion with one of my colleague, and she was of an opinion that when it comes to influencing learning, internal factors come first and external factors come next. So she was of an opinion that motivation is something that plays a big role. I still feel it's physical facilities, so let us flag this one also. But once I had a discussion, I also skewed towards motivation, as you had said. So I'm not sure, but if it is motivation, turns out to be motivation, I would like to apologize for the wrong answer. But then let us see, let us mark this. If you have marked physical facilities, let us ask for it. If it is not correct, then most probably I'll wrong and I'll admit it. No issues for that. Any doubt? Any other doubt regarding that? Yes, thank you. Thank you. Next question. Which of the following is not a characteristic of teaching profession? Pre-service training, specialized knowledge, private coaching, in-service training. So, which is a very straightforward question. And option 3, private coaching is not the part of teaching profession. Any doubt here in this question? No doubt, right? So with this, we have, discussed the questions that were given in the teaching aptitude of the CE paper. Did anyone come across any different type of question? Some other question that was asked to you in the examination? Or you too had the same questions, but in a jumbled order? Okay. So we have identified 2 questions. Question number 29 I might have done a mistake. I'm pretty not sure. So let us look into it. If it is a mistake, then for sure it's a mistake done by my side, and I should take the responsibility for it. And sure. But then any other questions if you have any doubts? Okay, Rajata wants me to her to show the questions. You want me to discuss the question or just show the questions, Rajata? Okay, so this is question number 29 of this paper, 28. Which question do you want me to show, Rajata? Again, oh, sorry, all the questions? What I'll do is I'll just crop the questions of this teaching aptitude paper and send it in the group. Would that be fine? Okay. Any other doubt? I completely agree with the ICT based question. Let us see what happens and what is the explanation that they give. And based on that, we can take a call.
Sir, how to apply a what consent regarding the question, sir? Like,
okay, yeah. So Shreyan has asked what is the expected cutoff. So let me tell you that expected cutoff is not something that remains the same every year. Okay. And RIE CE never releases cutoff. They directly release the second selected list where percentages come in. So expected cutoff is very dynamic, and it's we cannot actually predict it properly. And once again, if we look at it, your CEE exams hold 60% of your marks and 40% comes from your 12th. So calculating the expected cutoff is pretty difficult, but we'll try to look into the previous year's selected lists and the percentages that were given here so that we can come down to an average percentage. But then it again changes dramatically year to year. So, predicting an expected cutoff, in my opinion, would be a very misguiding thing that I can do for all of you. So we have to wait and watch. But then, as I said, we'll look into the previous year papers and see the percentage pattern and inform you accordingly. Okay, Shreyan and others? Okay. So with this, I think we have discussed this year's teaching aptitude questions and all the answers that were correct and the questions with which we had doubt, and we have discussed to report it or mark it because they have given us a window of doing that. So thank you all of you for attending these sessions. Anything else you want to ask or you want to share here?
how to apply like the doubt on the question, like ICT question and this teaching.
We'll discuss it. Don't worry about it. Our team is already looking into it, and they will help you out with the procedure with through which you have to apply for it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Anything else you want to ask or discuss here? Okay. Thank you. Thank you all for attending this session. I hope this session was helpful for you all. Most probably this session will also be uploaded. So we'll look into the other queries. Thank you so much. I'll stop sharing my screen. Yes. Thank you all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Maitri. Thank you all of you.